Bournemouth's faint hopes of Europe ended on Tuesday night as Manchester City did a job on us at the Etihad with a more than convincing 3-1 win over the Cherries. For now, it's all about reflecting on the season we've just had, maybe wondering what the summer might bring, but also we've got a chance to have one last hurrah at the Vitality Stadium as we welcome Leicester City at home, a game which presents the chance for us to say goodbye to a Cherries superstar, made a superstar in a season, and maybe one or two others as well. Welcome to the big match preview on Back of the Net. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
And look, it is a preview. We're going to be talking about the visit of the Foxes, but I suppose, Tom, we don't really need all the stats and trivia for a game that now, sadly, cannot lead to anything.
No, it can't, and neither for them either. So no. I don't know. I forget if they can actually come one of two positions though. Leicester. I can't remember what the points total is, and I don't even care. I know they can't come 20th. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a disappointing season. I mean, there was probably a part in this season where I thought this could be a big game for both teams, but at the opposite ends of the table. But it didn't happen. So I don't think any Leicester fans would be too bothered that we're not talking about all their stats and stuff as well. But yeah, it will hopefully. We can just end it. I just want, because it has been a really good season, and I would just love that the players get that kind of, they'll get it anyway, but get that kind of applause on the back of a win on the final day, everyone in good spirits, so we can thank them properly, really, mate. And also, we can't get done the double over by Leicester. No offence, Leicester, but the season they've had, we can't, surely.
That would be bad. But look, we have got positions to play for. We can finish as low as 12th and as high as 9th, and that's a difference of about 9 million quid, which is a BGA 88 deal and a little bit more. So, all to play for, but yeah, let's not have a repeat of what happened at the King Power. This is what happened. Easy, found space on the right. Oh, the post! Post! It's in! Offside. It was a 1-0 defeat up in the East Midlands under Steve Cooper, who did a job over Iraola. It was how do you pronounce that? Buonanotte, who scored for them in a game that I'm keen to forget, mate. We had a lot of the ball, but we didn't do a lot with it.
Yeah, we just couldn't score. I remember Senesi having a really good chance. We had a few really good tries. It was one of them games that we seemed to have at the start of the season where we thought we're creating so much, can't put the ball in the net, and we were kind of waiting for it. So they probably got us at a decent time. And to be fair then, even though they weren't great, I always felt like Leicester could grind games out with Steve Cooper.
Exactly. He showed that with Nottingham Forest. Up to his sacking, they'd only won 2 league games. He got sacked about a few games after our game, and there was one win for him. That was Bournemouth, and another Southampton away, which I think was the following game after that. So that gave them a lot of hope. Now, the last time Leicester came to Dean Court, can you remember what happened? I'm struggling here.
Is this COVID?
No, it's October 2022.
Oh, so it's season after.
Yeah, so the Foxes took the lead in the 10th minute through Patson Daka. That was the only goal up to the half-time whistle, but then 2 goals in 3 minutes.
Christie scuffed goal.
Yes.
And that was when Bill Foley first watched the game.
Exactly.
I remember that game. I can't remember who got the equaliser.
Phil Bill scored as well.
Was it?
As well.
Yeah, I just remember that Christie bundle, like a real scuffy goal. Yeah, I do remember it now.
But Leicester City, that game earlier this season, you sort of look back, now that we're in a position where we know we can't get anything tangible from the season, and as we look at the league table, you look at games like that, you look at the games of the teams in and around us, for instance, against Brentford, 0 points, against Brighton, 0 points, against Palace, we only got 2. It would just be nice to equal our best ever positional finish. Of course, we've blown so many records out the window this season, including the amount of points we've garnered, the goals for as well, and the goals against. Brilliant. However, it would just be nice to finish 9th, but we are relying on other teams dropping points.
Yeah, we are, mate. I think, it seems silly to look at all the other fixtures now because as I've said the whole way through, it kind of seems a little bit pointless. Everyone does it, a little bit of predictors and going, who have they got left and blah, blah, blah. But as we saw very recently, mate, Brighton, we all went, well, they ain't going to beat Liverpool, but it's context. When they played Liverpool won the league and been on the piss.
Yeah.
You know, and suddenly we go, oh, City might have nothing to play for.
Yeah.
And then they've got everything to play for. So it all depends on context. But I do think that Fulham have got to play Man City. And I think we saw the other night that City are looking like they're going to finish the season strong, sorry.
Yeah.
So I think Fulham will struggle to at least win that game. So I want to, after the season that, regardless what happens, has been, I've really enjoyed it. One of my favourite seasons to watch. We've been brilliant. Some of the moments as well. I would take kind of defeat at Leicester because of the memories I got at the Emirates, for example. But imagine if after all that we finished bottom half. It just doesn't sound right.
No,
it sounds mental that we could finish bottom half. But yeah, listen, like I say, there's been a lot of reasons for it. But yeah, games like this are potentially why, and kind of unlocking teams that sit low block. But why would Leicester sit low block? Last game of the season, they got nothing to play for. They just might as well just have a crack, haven't they?
Yeah, they might as well. Please do. And look, we need to swiftly just talk about Manchester City.
Yes.
No time for a second look, given the quick turnaround and the content that you would have seen recently on the channel from the Performance Centre. That was all right, wasn't it?
Very nice.
What at all that was. I mean, they were class, weren't they, City? They were class. But we had our moments. It felt like sort of a few sliding doors moments in that game.
Definitely, mate. I think the first goal, whatever you say, is an absolute worldie.
You know what? Being there and seeing it, I thought, yeah, it was a good strike. It was a brilliant strike. It was only when I saw it on the TV afterwards, he was so far out.
Yeah, when you watch it from behind him as well. And it's one of them that you just think, there's no one's getting near that. It's a hell of a shot. I know people talk about backing off. Most people, and I think Mark is definitely one that done this, was going, go on, have a shot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Really, I would take that. And if it goes in, you hold your hands up. How many times do people say that?
Yeah.
Rather than coming out and letting them have an easy pass. So I wasn't critical of anyone in that sense. But before that, we both had chances, little mini chances. They obviously scored the goal, which helps them. But then we hit the post.
Yeah.
Brilliant ball from Tav. I think Ever does everything he could do. And it hits the post, mate. And suddenly a 1-1. They get the second goal. And then they get a man sent off. You think, I tell you what, if we score, they'll start panicking with a man less. Lewis Cook goes and gets himself sent off. So, yeah, weird game. I think they're obviously a good side. They had everyone kind of back, if you like, as well. But
however, though, Tom,
I'll just quickly say, I know what you're going to mention, but quickly say, I think Kepa done, apart from running out a few times, which scared me, didn't actually do anything wrong, and he made a couple of really good saves.
However, though, Tom,
go on,
go on.
I was just going to say, it's one of them. I get why people were saying it, because Lewis Cook was one of the worst performances, definitely his worst performance of the season. But I think I said this to you off camera, I think it stands out more because he's the most consistent player in the world.
It's always a compliment that we're so disappointed.
Yeah, but I think people then go, oh, he's not good enough. And calm down. But he had a horrific game, which is so rare for Lewis. So that's going to affect things against Man City, of course. Yeah. And that made Adams had to do too much and he couldn't get around. I actually want to say as well, because a lot of people going about the players that they think are leaving, thought Huijsen and Kirkers were fine. So there's nothing on them not caring and all that crap. I think Iraola's a player that I think he was getting a little bit too much criticism, but I also appreciate that his job was quite obviously to keep an eye on Marmoush and follow him around, and a few of the players had a word with him during the game when he lost him, and Marmoush was their best player, so Iraola still got to have a bit of time. But I think the front players again, mate, I thought Ever's feeding off scraps, as we keep saying, but I thought Tav, Semenyo and Kluivert, I mean, they were all awful. But luckily, as usual, even when he hadn't got many players, I thought Brooksy was great off the bench. Yeah. And did we make any other subs that done anything?
I'm just trying to recall. Now, I know that there was a private wager between you and Steve Hensman. Let our viewers and listeners into a little bit of a secret then, Tom.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I actually told the man himself about this bet.
You did. You did.
Spoke to the main man, Jebbo.
We're going to show that next week, but you've have seen clips of him on the Performance Centre vlog.
Yes, I did speak to Dan Jebelson. I just said, look, mate, I've got a little wager with my mate Steve that you're going to score. I done it when he got recalled in the January. Said that he will score a Premier League goal. And he told me he would. I said, well, when are you going to do it? I mean, he said off camera, obviously. He said, it's probably, where do you want me to do it? I said, Etihad would be nice. He went, all right, mate, no worries. He went, how do you want me to do it? I went, score it like you score every goal. But I genuinely was buzzing for him. Absolutely buzzing for him. I mean, he actually, to make the balls was really good. He actually showed a good, I mean, the finish, I'm almost starting to think, does he do it on purpose? Just in it out. But no, I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing for him, mate. And, yeah, so if anyone says anything about any sort of predictions that I make, I mean, come on. I told you all Jebbo would score.
Steve, cough up. cough up. And look, Bournemouth have scored 13 goals via substitutes in the Premier League this season, which is the second highest. Only Fulham have netted more from the bench. So yeah, Tom is up on his money thanks to that little one. But thank you to Daniel Jebison for that. So at least it gave us something to cheer about after what was a night that was all about Kevin De Bruyne. It was all about certain Cherries who maybe don't go to home games saying goodbye to Dean Huijsen, and we managed to catch a word with his dad on the way out as well. Him and his wife were just walking out, and a few people goaded me into it because I was like, oh no, just let him go on. They were like, no, chat to him. I was like, all right then. So I went up and had a few minutes with him upon our fan cams. Brilliant bloke, and just I don't know, he seems to have got it like Dean has. He's got the sort of whole Bournemouth thing very quickly.
Yes, no, I agree, mate.
And he appreciates what we've done as a platform for him, and ultimately, whisper it. For a lot of players that are coming in, we are a stepping stone club. I mean, they're not staying here forever. They're not signing to stay forever. But yeah, what a player we've got.
Yeah, and Dean Huijsen has literally made it. It's going to be easier for us to attract players of that kind of quality now because look what happens. And I know there's a lot of people that said, which I kind of get now, he's been that good that if we didn't have the release clause, we could have got more money. I without knowing, I think the reason we get players like Dean Huijsen is we say to them, come here, we'll put you on the big stage. We know, you could go on better things here, but we'll put a clause in your contract. So if you do really well and a big club comes in, we won't stand your way. And that's going to be more reason for him to come.
Yeah, of course.
So I do think that's a big part of it. And it's still a hell of a profit, obviously, for the football club in such a short amount of time. But really nice to see Dean getting them sort of applaud as well. I was watching it on Monday Night Football and they were talking about him for sign of the season. They were even talking about him potentially being one of the players in the team of the season, along with Kerkez, who will probably go as well. And they're it's nice to see them kind of getting that, because honestly, he's been a joke. And it's mad to think that we've only seen him for less than a year, and I'm already like, he'll walk to the Real Madrid team and be absolutely fine. Yeah. He'll be there for 10 years. He'll win every trophy. He'll be one of the best defenders. But I genuinely, because there's something about him. Arrogance sounds horrible, but it's not. The way he just
self-confidence.
The way he plays at the back, you just think he's not worried about anything.
No, he's not.
And the way he is in it, he just seems like he's a chill guy.
He is a chill guy.
But yeah, I really wish him all the best, mate, for sure. He's been amazing.
But look, players who leave the club sometimes do go on to big things, and it was our last player that left for a lot of money. Dom Solanke, mate. Pleased for him.
Buzzing for him, mate.
Buzzing for him.
Yeah, we should do some congratulations. So congratulate Tottenham. First trophy in 17 years. You're welcome for Dom Solanke. Also Crystal Palace. Yeah. First trophy in forever. You're welcome for Jefferson Lerma. And we might as well go back and say congratulations to Newcastle for your League Cup win. For the first trophy in 70 years. You're welcome for Eddie Howe. Obviously, commiseration to Southampton. You're welcome, Ryan Fraser.
Now, at this point, I suppose we want to underline that it is possible to experience a few emotions at the same time when it comes to looking at AFC Bournemouth season as a whole. Regret and disappointment that we didn't achieve anything tangible. I get that, and I'm feeling that now. That feeling has worn off, I think, towards the end of the season, where it looked more and more unlikely. Maybe there's a bit of concern for the future. How do we know that we'll have a team that has got this kind of synergy again next season? A lot of work for the recruitment department to do. But also, you can experience pride as well, like Tom's mentioned, about how we've gone through a record-breaking season. But there does seem to be a couple of key factors, Tom, that we want to talk about. I mean, we were fifth in February, and then it all fell apart. Now, is that because of the injury crisis? Is that because of Christie, playing with managed pain and then not at all? Is it because the club weren't really maybe wanting to put their eggs in the European basket yet? Because we would have struggled next season with so many European fixtures. Yeah,
I remember looking pre-Brighton away it was, and we were 1 to 10 on to get into Europe.
Wow.
We were massive favourites because of the points we had and the form we were on. And I remember saying to you, I can't remember the exact day, but it was just after the window slammed shut, as it does.
Yeah.
We walked in here, and I remember us talking about it, going, should we have got... We didn't do any business, we let a few go, blah, blah. I said, Tim, we both said, the fact is, mate, that if we get to Europe, everyone will go, bloody hell, we didn't even bother doing anything. They knew something. Congratulations. If we don't get into Europe now, we're going to look back at January. So I can't now... I don't want to be overly critical because it's been unbelievable, but I can't. We all said it. We said, well, let's see at the end of the season, because I can't believe we've made ourselves weaker. And I can't see how the coach, and I mean, it's an interesting time, because I've seen that Pep Guardiola said recently that he doesn't want a big squad. And you never know. Andoni might have said that. So I'm not going to go, you don't know we're not privy to all that stuff. But I can't imagine that he's thinking, and also the record that you touched upon with the subs. The amount of goals we get at the start of the season from subs was unbelievable. And it just fell off a cliff because we didn't have any. And I can't for the life, and I would never, people always say the same thing, which I totally appreciate. If there's no one out there that's going to help the team, that's the right player, you don't bring him in. Totally agree. You also don't let players go then. Because Philip Billing and Max Aarons would have played more for us than they have in their loans. So you can't tell me it's about playing football because neither of them have played. They're both subs every week for the two clubs they've gone to. So you can't tell me that they both would have come on the other night. Both of them would have come on.
Absolutely.
And I just really... It's one of them things. It's not the end of the world, but I just feel like, was this a real opportunity to grab? We're so close. Not even Europe. We were Champions League.
After that Southampton game.
And I just felt we needed, and it wasn't the fact that, because these players, I remember Newcastle, prime example, we had no bench and we won 4-1. But you knew if that kept happening, them players are going to tire. They're not going to do this all season. They need to cut. Semenyo's play every minute. Clive, look at them now.
It's no
Christie,
wonder.
look at them now. They're all dead. They're all absolutely dead, mate. From them players that were pressing like hell. Oh, Dango's suddenly injured. Well, of course he's injured. He was working his absolute... You know what I mean? Christie's injured. Of course they're injured, is what I'm saying. And the fact that we couldn't just help a little bit more, and credit to people like Winterburn who have come on in the odd game, but it's not his fault.
No, of course.
He'd have had more minutes if he could have played in the academy, to be fair to him. But it feels a little bit like, not that maybe get bodies in, but could we have gone, actually, I'm sorry Billing, I'm sorry Aarons, but in the position we're in, you're in contract. We're paying you wages. We could really do with you just being there for us, being them options. I mean, we could have even called back a few if we really wanted to as well, mate. So a little bit. It does feel like a missed opportunity. We'll never know. And in regards to kind of next season, obviously everyone's saying teams will get stronger that have been poor. Are we going to be able to replace people like Houghton and Kirk? Because that's going to be so difficult. I will equally say there's going to be so many teams in Europe from England. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest in Europe, for example. So that's going to be so much harder for them two teams next season.
It could go to 8th place. And by the way, if you're in the Conference League, I think the actual money you get isn't amazing at all, but
it's just European.
It provides that pathway to Europa, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure, mate, for sure. But I think it is what it is. But I would have liked any sort of, because you've only got to see the other night. Tottenham, Man United, two horrifically bad teams. And one of them's in the Champions League, and they both got to the final. And I think that says it all about, we would go far in them competitions, in my opinion.
I swear that whenever two English teams play each other in a European final, it's the worst advert for Premier League football. It's like, people must be watching this from like Spain, France, the other big leagues, and thinking, is this what the Premier League's like?
But if they can get to the latter stages, mate, it kind of says it all, that where we could be. So it's disappointing. It is disappointing. We can't. You can be two things, like you say. You could be so proud and really enjoy the season as a whole, which I have, but also go, did I enjoy the last bit? We had moments, Arsenal and stuff. We have fallen off big time.
Well, Bournemouth have lost 5 of their last 7 Premier League home games. Indeed, since the start of February, only Ipswich have lost more at home than Bournemouth, which maybe says it all. So it's going to be an important time of getting players in, but also looking at players who are going to stay, loan, or sell, for instance. And maybe, positionally, we might need to be looking at certain players and recalibrating them into, like what's happened with Ryan Christie, like what's happened with, Justin Kluivert, like what happened with Lewis Cook for large parts of the season as well. Any thoughts on that, about players that could do maybe other roles?
Yes, I was actually chatting to Kieran, our Aussie correspondent, if you like. I was chatting to him the other day about it, and we were saying that when people talk about Tav, it reminds me of what we used to do with Christie, and I totally get it. We're kind of going, I can see why he plays, because of his energy and he works hard, but he just lets himself down in that final bit. He doesn't look like he's going to offer enough numbers, is he, to the quality for a winger that we need? And we used to say that about Christie all the time. And then Andoni made Christie an 8, and he's our best player. Let's be honest, by the way, just quickly dip into that. I think all this run has proven to me is he's our best player. He's our most important player to the way we play, and that's why he's won the Daily Echo.
Exactly, Mickey Cape, and also on the BBC vote. So we were asked to provide 4 names. We consulted social media for this, because there are some people that's been saying, "How come we got Lewis Cook on there? Did you see how he played against Manchester City?" It's over the course of the whole season, lads. And we went on Facebook and X and we did get the top 4 names. We put it into a word cloud and then we worked it out. Christie at the moment is winning the vote for that as well.
And
obviously.
And I think, while I was just dipping into him a minute, it's just the point, I think, against City game as well, where we swarmed all over him at home. And I know it's a different context of a game, etc. But I just thought every time they cut us open, you just thought, you're just missing his legs. You're missing his legs. What I was saying is that and you got to remember, he was a winger that we didn't think was going to be good enough, which is what we're saying about Tav.
Yeah.
I think Tav could do that role, not to Christie level, but I think, and I'm not being funny, Sunday could be a prime a prime opportunity, because we've got no midfield.
Yeah,
because Tyler Adams is the only fit senior midfield player, because obviously Lewis Cook, and he'll be out at the start of next season, I assume, as well. Lewis Cook is out, and obviously Billings out on loan, and obviously accident prone Tyrone Mings accidentally elbowed Alex Scott and broke his jaw accidentally. He's done a few of them. I saw the other day that Aston Villa have done a golf range and they had him in there with a golf club. I thought, don't give him a golf club. He is so accident prone, that boy. But Tav, I just think Tav, do you know what I mean? He's energetic.
Yeah.
I like what he brings in that sense, but I also appreciate why people say, he just lets himself down.
Yeah.
There's a few times against City where he done the right fit and then he just overdone it. And I just thought, that's what Christie used to be like. I don't know what you think, but I think it's a really good opportunity against Leicester to go, right, Adam's sit, Tav, you be the engine.
Yeah.
Because and as we said, I thought Brooks done well when he come on, so he deserves to start. But yeah, it was a thought that, like you just mentioned, mate, we've got to look at, he's even tried Dango at fullback before. We've tried different bits, and I wonder if we maybe look at Tav a bit more centrally, because I actually think he's been better when he's been in the 10 than he has wide as well.
Yeah, agree. So it looks like Winterburn's going to be utilised from the bench, and of course he took part in AFC Bournemouth's match on Wednesday night, the academy side against Brentford, where we lost 3-2.
I'm happy about it.
Why?
I'll tell you, this was, I think it was Rich Jackson actually who said this to me, because we were talking about the game. Obviously it was on YouTube, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We were talking about the game and stuff, and I was like looking at it and I was going, I swear I recognise that guy. Oh, they had Christoph Ayer at the back, the 27-year-old centre-half that played against us, I think in both games this season. He's played Champions League football and 41 times for Norway. He's going to be some player when he's developed into the Brentford squad, isn't he? I just can't get everybody. He's obviously allowed to, and I know we've done it before with players coming back from injury and stuff, but surely they have to say, well, we do it. It might have to in like a final, a bit weird. But also that makes me actually think, God, are we good? Because if they've done that, they've only just beat us.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe nervous about
I do think there's some really, really good players in that development side, mate. You've mentioned it before, and I think we both have, that it feels like it's so hard for any of them to kind of break through properly. But I think a lot of them are doing the right things to get really, really strong moves. And they've only got to look at recent times, haven't they, with Travers and Zamora and Anthony, and what can happen. So they've done really well, mate.
I sort of sense with obviously the club are trying to sell these development games and stuff, which is great, and there are murmurings that the minimum points that you'll need will be one more than the home senior Premier League games next season. So if it starts from 20, it means that if you just go to home Premier League games, you made a mistake, because you should have supported the women at Dean Court and the development side. By the looks of it, I don't know whether that's happening or not, but to me, right,
absolutely outrageous.
If they want to get some bums on seats at those games, the best advert they can have really is by, the people that are going there would love to be seeing stars of the future, but there are players like, Daniel Adewajayi. How nice would it be to see someone like that named on the first team? So, people can think, you know what, this guy has a chance. But yes, I know Winterburn, of course, but that's only through an injury crisis. If we didn't have the injury crisis, he would not be playing. And
you think, what more could Adewajayi do, is what you're kind of saying, because he scores like a hat-trick every game.
Yeah, I know. So what is the pathway for these players? I would love to, obviously they're pumping so much money into the performance centre, as we saw on our recent video. And of course, as we get better, hopefully there'll be more and more chance for players to make the grade and hit the first team. I would just love there to be that continuity where it can happen, because that's the best advert you have.
Oh, of course.
To get fans to development football, rather than blindfolding them with their hands tied behind their back, almost blackmailing them into watching these other games in order to watch the first team.
Recently, we went to a development game, didn't we? Quite recently.
Yeah, we did.
You and I, and there were quite a lot of people that left at half time, because, and I feel really sorry for the development team, because they'll see a certain crowd in the first half.
Yeah.
Because people just want the point. And as soon as you scan, then you're fine. But yeah, I think in terms of naming on the bench for that, the only thing I could think of, because there's been a few away games this season where we've named 2 keepers on the bench, and everyone always says the same thing. Well, why don't we just chuck Adewajayi on there, for example? It's because sometimes the academy game's the next morning.
Yeah, true.
So And that's what I'm saying about, I won't get into all the points rubbish, but there's some people that potentially will now not be in the first bracket for home games, and that because they haven't done a development game, but they couldn't do the development game because they were travelling to Newcastle to watch the first team, for example.
Or it was played in the middle of the day at 2 p.m.
It's absolutely ridiculous. So, we know Rich and Mark, don't we, who obviously don't live down there, that have gone to every home game forever. And they won't have enough points.
Yeah, and they travel home and away. Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
Might not be in the first bracket, which is absolutely crazy. Let's talk about the Foxes then. Our opponents this Sunday. Look, it's a 4 p.m. kickoff, and we know that they parted their way with Cooper, a manager who had a better win record than the guy they've got at the moment, Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I think most Leicester fans didn't want Steve Cooper because of his Nottingham Forest connections as well. Maybe the way he played football wasn't conducive to what they'd witnessed last season, the previous season under Enzo Maresca as well. And as quick as a flash, Leicester under Ruud were relegated. It felt very quick. I think they got a win in their first game, didn't they? But then it soon unravelled for them, and they've been poor. I mean, the bottom three this season, mate. Terrible. I mean, probably the worst that we've had for quite a while. And I know people say that the gap's so big, but let's also not forget that at the end of this season we might have three of the promoted teams from when we were promoted only a couple of seasons ago finishing top 10. Yeah, exactly. Forest being in Europe. Yeah. So really, is it? Yeah.
Well, I know they keep bringing up the fact that the gap's so big, but they seem seemingly forgetting that Nottingham Forest are going to Europe, and Bournemouth and Fulham have had good seasons. So there is definitely a case for that as well. But none of the three have been good enough. I mean, Leicester have been really bad. Southampton have obviously been a joke. I think Ipswich, they have been bad. What I'm finding difficult is I actually felt in both games we played them, they played quite well. Yeah. So I remember the away game, we won late. Yeah. And at home they beat us. So it's a weird one when I wouldn't be genuine to say they've been rubbish when they've been good against us. But the three of them haven't. It doesn't feel like they've really. There was a spell, wasn't there, when Wolves, you thought, could they? It's them three and Wolves, then Wolves done something different, and it seemed to work quite well. Their manager's up for manager of the season. Sarah Pereira.
Is he?
They'd be like. They'd probably be challenging for Liverpool if they had at the start. But the manager before then was for Wolves was obviously making them in a scrap, but they seemed to be all right since then. And then it just felt like no one's going to get near it. Everton didn't. No one really felt Everton would drop in, and then they got Moyes in and they flew away. So it doesn't really feel like there's been any sort of relegation battle this season, does it? It really doesn't, and that is disappointing. It
felt like an act of almost because the fans, I chat to a few Leicester fans, and it almost like an act of self-sabotage with getting Van Nistelrooy in, because he's obviously made them worse than what Steve Cooper did. Yeah. Steve Cooper would have given them more of a chance, but I said Leicester fans didn't like him that much. They'd rather go down with Ruud than have a chance with Cooper.
But have you seen because they don't reckon he's going to stay? Have you seen the big rumours?
Oh, what? He's going to go to Borussia Dortmund or something?
No, the big rumours for who Leicester are getting.
Oh no, go on.
Russell Martin.
Oh, okay.
But the query is that because they reckon they're going to have points deduction, don't they, Leicester?
Oh, okay, right.
So there's obviously something not right there if they're going to get a points deduction. But listen, it's been really disappointing for them. I think they would have liked to have. I think what didn't help is they smashed the league and then lose their manager straight away. He went to Chelsea, didn't he? So there was a lot of tough bits for them, and their main man is obviously just leaving them now. They can't keep relying on him. But I actually look at their squad and think, they probably haven't got enough actually.
Let's have a quick look at the form league table then, going on the last six. Bournemouth are in 14th and Leicester City
12th.
12th?
Yeah, Leicester are 12th.
Obviously that's based on goal difference and stuff, but wow.
Yeah, they won a couple of games, didn't they? They have won a couple of games.
I take it all back about Ruud. But
have you seen the bottom two, by the way, in the form table? Yeah. The Europa League finalists, mental. Absolutely mental.
The away and home form tables see Bournemouth home form in 11th, Leicester City 19th. So, not so good. We're at the QP, in the courtroom specifically, home of Cherries fans on a match day. And I tell you what, mate, this place is going to be buzzing. The weather is going to be good. 4 p.m. kickoff. Get here from 12. There's going to be all sorts going on. Match day food. Get your raffle ticket with every drink that you buy. Come back afterwards. There's going to be live music from Absolute Madness, I think. Yeah. All that usual jazz. I think one of the prizes rolled over as well. But it's going to be absolutely heaving here. So make sure you come here and enjoy what will be an incredible celebration, isn't it? Yeah. Let's face it. So, are they going to be inflatables? I don't know.
I don't know.
Are they allowed? Umbrellas aren't. So
God, no. But no, I think just celebrate what's been a brilliant season for sure, mate. We've had so many. Honestly, I've got I wrote on I've been doing it through the season, like little kind of just to reiterate how many incredible moments we've had in one season. Yeah. I mean, it is absolutely. I mean, just a few of them on it, right?
Yeah.
So you've got. I mean, this is just in one season. 2 down on 87 minutes, and we won. That was a Goodison. We beat Man City for the first time in our Premier League history.
Decent. We
kept up a new Christmas tradition of going to Old Trafford and winning 3-0.
Again. We
went to an informed Newcastle with no players and won 4-1. Forest had the best defence in the league and we won 5-0. Then we got the manager, player and goal of the month in January. Then we done a double over them lot down the road. Then we eclipsed our best ever points tally in the top flight with 5 games left, and then we done a double on Arsenal, and that's literally one season. I mean,
we had an injury crisis throughout that as well.
Oh yeah, it's just honestly, it has been amazing. It's just a real shame that there's nothing. There's nothing to show for it in terms of like, you know, trophy, Europe, that sort of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, listen, it's been really good. And if we can finish the season with a win, I think you're probably going to do head-to-head. And I believe that it's not too bad against Leicester from what I can think. So yeah, confident we can finish with a win and enjoy it.
We've never lost at home to them in the Premier League. But you know, I said about the last time that Leicester visited Bournemouth. Of course, that was in the league, October 2022. We played them since then at home, FA Cup.
Oh, extra time.
Remember that?
And
a bloody good goal as well.
Extra time goal, yeah, screamer.
Smashed it into the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
So our record overall, okay, home games, Bournemouth have won 5, drawn 2, lost 3. So that was back in the Football League when we lost those games. Overall, won 8, drawn 5, lost 10.
Okay, it's not too bad.
You know, they're just shading it, but we can level that up.
I'd also like to point out, it's really good for like a quiz this is. You know, when Leicester, everyone knows when Leicester won the league. There was only 2 teams they didn't beat that season, and we were one of them.
We were one of them.
We didn't lose to them that season.
No.
I think there was 2 teams. 1-1 and 0-0, something like that.
Just taking a quick look at premierinjuries.com for the injuries ahead of this weekend. People that are out. We know Unai, we know Christie, we know Ouattara, we know Cini, we know Alex Scott, we now know Lewis Cook as well because of his suspension. That will carry on into next season, won't it?
Yeah, it will. Is there not I mean, we never know with City, so it's not even bother. But is there not a chance that Andoni said that Scott may be able to have a mask?
Oh, really?
Maybe, but I still think what's the point on the last game if he's got any sort of risk?
Yeah, no point.
There's no point. But yeah, we'll see. And we haven't. Yeah, we'll have to try something in midfield, mate. Or he could start Winterburn.
He could, or Brooks starting deep or something.
Yeah, something like that. We'll have to wait and see, mate. Can't obviously. I was thinking because I think Billing might finish the season before. Can we quickly get another one that could win a trophy? By the way,
cool.
Billing, they could win the league.
Oh yeah, of course.
Really tight
the top of the league, aren't they? Leicester City team news. Then we know that they've been without Fatawu, Adikwadova, Reed, Hermansen, and also Mavididi. They've all been out injured as well.
Vardy's out.
Vardy, of course. Yeah, why is he not playing in this one?
Because it was his 500th. It like looked nice. They didn't want to put one on. They just said it looks good to just end the season with him at home, and I was like, fucking happy days. But yeah, he is randomly not. I reckon he's just booked holiday. They're going, mate, whatever.
I'm not going to do this next season, but just to finish the season in a nice rounded way, I'm going to ask you if you know of the referee Lewis Smith. Never heard of him, but he has got 2 names associated closely with AFC Bournemouth, so maybe that's a good thing.
Did you watch the FA Cup final?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Who's on VAR for that?
I don't know.
Jared Gill.
Oh, fuck it. Do you see? I mean, he just punched out of his area. Just unbelievable. Move on.
Unreal. Played for both them. We've got 11 players here who have played for both the Foxes and the Cherries. And Tom.
I'm never going to say that as goalkeeper. You do it all the time. I don't even know who he is, but it must be Ian Andrews.
It is Ian.
I never know who he is.
Ian Andrews. He looked older than what he was. Would that be fair to say? But yeah, he's back in the 90s at the old Dean Court, yeah.
Okay.
All right, keeper. Across the back, so I've got one player in the defensive line that also plays as a striker as well, but also central defender. He played in one position more than the other.
Oh, no, we've done. That's ridiculous.
But let's go with this.
Yeah.
That's what Wikipedia says.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe.
Double M is Matt Mills.
Put him on the right. Is that doable?
Centre back, but any right-foot centre back could do a job there, can't they?
Yeah.
RS is what you've done, isn't it? And I remember, I'm pretty sure his only goal for Bournemouth. Can you remember it? Aldershot away.
He only played for us 3 times.
Yeah, he scored a goal. Yeah. Aldershot away. I was. You remember when they come up to the Football League like this?
Yeah.
And he scored, and I remember thinking, big guy, mate, he's going to be a player.
Dan Hall's watching this thinking, there's a script there. Dan, there's no script. All I've got is the names. So who is it?
I didn't know he played at the back, but he is a big guy. Ricky Stapleton.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he obviously, you would expect him to be at the other end of the pitch, but there were a few games, almost like Lee Bradbury, can play anywhere. Alongside him.
should have played in the final. Frank Rolling, isn't it?
Yeah, FR, Frank
player.
Rolling, and then RB left back.
Is that? I was thinking who's that, but Ryan Bertrand went there, didn't he?
Yeah,
Ryan
Bertrand.
Went there, yeah.
Okay, another one that maybe isn't in his customary position, SC, I've put in the middle of the pitch. I mean, you'd probably expect him more up front with his socks down low.
You've got Steve Clarence
on the football
midfield.
Yeah, I have.
You can just do a formation with 2 at the back if you want.
I can, but I don't want to.
No, fair enough. DT is definitely Danny Thomas.
Yes, it is.
MG. Oh, Maxi Gradle.
Maxi Gradle, yeah.
What a player.
Brilliant. And then we've got 3 sort of up top 3. I think you'll know all of these.
Well,
YK.
YK. Weirdly loved by every club he's been at apart from Leicester.
He took a bad penalty once.
He took a Panenka, didn't he, in the playoffs?
And he
missed it.
Yeah.
But you know when we like, went out with him and that,
Yeah.
I went out and just had a few drinks with him.
on the beers.
And me and him were just outside just having like a little catch up. And he was I said, why do they? He goes, oh, Leicester hate me.
I think fans wrote a song about it.
Yeah, they hate him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jan Kermigan. Who else we got up there? LT is... LT? Why have I forgot LT?
LT.
Well, I know LT, he didn't play for him.
Yeah, he did.
What, Lyle Taylor?
No.
Oh, what, Lee Tomlin?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Lee Tomlin.
Lee Tomlin.
And JQ.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Quigley?
No.
Who's Q?
Former manager.
Jimmy Quinn.
Jimmy Quinn.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
There we go.
There can't be that many for Leicester. I actually thought about it before. I thought, I wonder if Sam's going to be able to get 11.
There's also a central defender that played for us that was in their academy, BC.
In their academy. Bailey Cargill, isn't it?
Yeah, Bailey Cargill. Yeah, Bailey Cargill as well. So there you go.
Nice one, mate. That's actually done well there.
Thank you. On to predicted teams then. Let's go for it. Tom, 4-2-3-1 for Bournemouth then. What are you going for?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, I really wanted to find a way and put Jebbo in, but I think he's a player that comes off the bench and, gives fans what they want. So, Kepa, who I think we need to give a big sign him up. I'm going to shout sign him up at him all game on a massive upgrade. So, Kepa in goal. I think Smithy will come back in.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned to me off camera, actually. We don't know the stats on it. It feels like Iraola plays more away. Doesn't it? Even when he was fit at the start of the season. But I think that now we've got Smith and Iraola, he was always going to do 1 in 1 game for the 2 in the same week, and he can't play Cookie there, obviously. So.
Lee Tomlin was in their academy, by the way.
That was it?
I've just,
I did wonder about that.
It counts.
Yeah, Smithy, and the reason I think Smithy as well, because obviously Cook can't play right back, I don't know if no one's really spoke about it, but James Hill won on the bench at City.
Is he not?
So I know he's not on the list, but is James Hill injured? Because he would have been on the bench, wouldn't he? So
yeah.
I wonder if James Hill's injured. Anyway, Zabani and Dino's last game for sure at the back, and Milos Kerkez's last game, let's be real, at left back. Tyler Adams in midfield, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to put Tav in there in that Conor Christie role, which I think, regardless, I just think we need someone like that. I don't think Adams and Cook and when Scott's in there, it doesn't seem to. We need someone that's just going to be a bit rattier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go for Tav. I think Brooks deserves to start anyway. So I'd have put Brooks in regardless of the Cook suspension, to be honest. I think Brooks deserves to play. I'm gonna start him off on the right, Semenya the left, and Kluivert in the 10 with Evan Nilsson up front. Kluivert, I'm hoping, was just kind of tactical. If he did have some sort of knot, because he come off at half time and I thought it's not really Kluivert, then I would put Ever into the 10 and bring Jebbo in.
Why not?
Because why not? But no, that's what I'm going to go for, mate.
Okay, what about Leicester?
I'm not trying to pronounce the goalkeeper because Hermansen's injured, and I thought, damn it.
A scholar check, isn't it?
Yeah, that'd do. Stolo in goal. Similar formation, mate. I'm going to go James Justin at right back, Conor Cody and Wout Face with, what's his bloody first name? Thomas. Luke Thomas at left back. And Ndidi and Samare, I reckon, will probably be the 2 in the middle. They've got Skip, maybe, but I'll go them 2. I'm not going to play Buonanotte just because they bought in McAteer for their last game and he actually scored and looked quite good, so I'll keep him in. Jordan Ayew kind of in that 10 role, and El Kanous off the left. They can alternate. El Kanous, I've bought him into he's my little shout. He's been alright. I'm going to see what he's like live, but I think he could be one that gets snapped up by someone. And it'll have to be Patson Daka up front, I would have assumed, because no Jamie Vardy. So Patson Daka, one that could have been. We went to get him.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, he'll be up top, I'm sure.
So, as we said, Bournemouth are unbeaten in our home Premier League matches against Leicester. We've also lost our final game in 4 of our 7 Premier League campaigns. This is the first time we're finishing a season in the top flight with a home game.
I know, it's mental, isn't it?
That's crazy.
And you think of, and you go, okay, that seems mad, but we're not like being Premier League loads. So what happened before? But then when we were in the Championship, we had Millwall.
Yeah.
And then Was that? Then did we have away? No, I'm thinking of blimmin' the first time before we come to the Prem. Sorry.
Yeah.
We had blimmin' Charlton, obviously, in the final one. Season before was Millwall away. League One, where we got promoted, we were at Tranmere.
Yeah.
We always seem to be away on the last day. So it's nice. And once we have been away at Leicester, Matty Worthington's Premier League.
Oh, yeah, 1-1, wasn't it?
1-1, Ryan Sobbing goal.
Now, look, Leicester have lost their final league game in 4 of the last 7 seasons, though they have won their last 2 as a Premier League side. That was against Southampton and West Ham. And they've opened the scoring, the Foxes, in each of their last 3 Premier League games, as many as they had in their previous 27.
Great.
What will happen at the weekend? Let's have a prediction from you then. Doesn't matter. Football never ends. Don't get to, but we'll go there.
I think we'll nick it. I don't think it'll be a great one, but I think we'll see it through. So I think we'll have a little bit too much. Hopefully, mate. I'll go 2-1 to Bournemouth. I'm going to go for a Dean Huijsen header from a corner. And then he'll probably tap the badge or something. We'll go, done man now, Dean. But yeah, I think Dino will score from a corner, and then obviously I think Jebbo will seal the victory.
3-1. That's what I'm going for. Bournemouth 3-1. So
Jebbo?
Yeah, Jebbo brace.
Christ.
Why not? Come on, it could happen. Just a little heads up, no fan cams. No fan cams. We're all heading back here, okay? Yeah. So no fan cams in the usual position. That's what usually happens on the... that's not the last... What was the last... Sorry, I went a bit high pitched there. Yeah. What was the last time we came here after a game? So that wasn't at home then?
What? No, it was still the last home game.
Oh, it was the last home game.
But it wasn't the official last game.
Oh, well, then we had one more, didn't we?
Chelsea?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah. We had another away.
By the way, no fan cams in the usual position, so don't go there because we are not going to be there. We're going to be decamping off to the pub to have a few drinks to celebrate our season. Make sure you put your predictions in the comments below. We'd love to read every single one. Until Sunday, up the chest.
Up the chest.
Come on.
I was trying to, like all them predictable things we said about with like Mings and that. I forgot to mention in there that Ryan Fraser's still not available to do the job he's paid to do. So leave that in because I want to mention that. And also Watford. You seen they hired another manager than I was heard of.
Oh God,
so Watford.
Standard.
Oh,
so standard.
Been a predictable week, I'm telling you.